I'm John Aravosis with America Blog, sitting here with my friend Alan Klein, who is a political PR consultant here in New York City. And we wanted to have a quick talk about that presidential debate that was absolutely insane.
Yes, indeed. I'm still recovering. I'm thinking about the martini that will be made soon.
Oh, the martini that will be made for Hillary, I think.
Well, no, that's a glass of champagne, because she was able to not only deal with the constant interruptions and the insanity, the train wreck that was Donald Trump tonight, at least absolutely for the second half of the debate, but she actually killed it. She actually came through and I think did a fantastic job of not only beating back Trump's insanity, but giving a really cogent performance. She was wonderful.
Yeah, I can't agree more. I mean, basically, the debate started where I think Trump was holding his own at the beginning. Excuse me. I think for the first half hour, all of us were thinking, "Oh shit, Trump is actually, his Xanax
somewhat coherent.
His Xanax is working. He's being coherent. He's being reasonable. I mean, reasonable for Trump. And Hillary's doing a good job. She looked better than he did. I almost got the feeling he didn't use makeup this time, or that he told this person to use less makeup.
He had a makeup problem, that's for sure. And you saw him sweat as well.
You could see him sweat. And again, the problem with makeup, which people may not know who don't do TV, you look like a corpse when you don't use makeup. And right. I think Trump went low on the makeup, which is a small point, but it started with that. She looked great. She held her own on the issues. She was very smart and presidential for the first half hour, which is, I think, what she wanted to do. But then Trump went from being sort of Xanax normal into batshit crazy.
Well, it certainly wore off for the second part of the debate. And you said, yeah, he absolutely took his Xanax or Klonopin or whatever it was, and was low key, mellow. And I know, for me, I'm not obviously not a Trump supporter, so I thought that his performance was actually decent for the first couple of questions. But yeah, he went off the rails real quick, and she was ready. We heard this on CNN with her oppositional research, and was able to really punch back in very concisely, very, very well.
I'm trying to remember now. I don't even remember what was sort of the first thing Hillary got him on. I'm trying to remember, because it was about a half an hour in.
Well, I mean, there were zingers. There were like the Emmys, saying that
was a little more towards the end, but
right.
because he was hitting him on the rigged election thing,
right.
And she brought up, this guy even thought the Emmys were rigged because he didn't get his Emmy. And I mean, at that point, this was where things were already spinning out of control for Chump. That was more like he was Mr. Chump tonight.
What's interesting is she took the debate seriously from beginning to end. She did not fall into the sand traps that she could have by going
she
into
didn't respond to his BS that he raised.
Right.
Yeah.
She did not go into crazy land.
Right.
Which was masterful. She took the debate seriously. Took Chris Wallace's questions seriously, and answered them with grace. And intelligence and coherence.
Look at that first question. I remember the first question was the Supreme Court question, wasn't it? I think. And Wallace asked something about, the future of the Supreme Court, your presidency. What are you thinking? What's your theory on what was it on constitutional restraint, or what was it on? Whatever it was, but I mean, he got her on this really complicated Supreme Court question, and you knew as he was asking it that Trump was in his head going, "Oh shit, nobody prepared me for this."
She knew the case, and I forget the
Heller, I think it was, but I didn't even know the case.
She knew the details. She knew the details of the case. It was second nature for her. She went through it step by step, and they cut back to Trump, and of course he blamed Obama.
He gave a BS answer.
He gave I don't think there was an answer that wasn't BS.
No. The gun stuff too. He gave this weird. Right. Well, no, he tried to switch to the Supreme Court Second Amendment. I'm going to defend the Second Amendment, and he kept giving platitudes. But what I know, a lot of people, you included, were not totally happy with Chris Wallace's performance as moderator. But what Wallace did well, I think, was he brought up a lot of substantive questions that Trump couldn't answer because
Absolutely.
Trump doesn't know the substance.
Yeah.
Iraq.
This was certainly of the three debates. This was the most substantive debate.
I think so. Yeah.
Even
though it was also the worst in terms of the zingers.
It was
the best and the worst.
It was at least half a fatal train wreck, and
but a wonderfully fatal train wreck.
One that, just like most car accidents on the freeway, you can't turn away, and indeed we couldn't. But it left our hearts beating. I'm sure no matter what side of the aisle you sit, this was rough.
This was hysterical, though. No, she destroyed him. It was clear by around 10 o'clock, about an hour in, everybody I follow on Twitter was saying, oh, the one person who said, that woman is stone cold. Yeah. I mean, she was destroying him. The two big points that everyone's talking about, which you guys saw, was the first one. Well, yeah, the first one when he was asked whether he would accept the results of the election, and he said, well, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Right. Basically calling into question the whole process by which our democracy works.
And possibly calling into question the whole election after it's over.
Absolutely, which is I mean, I forget which, maybe it was CNN where they said,
it was on CNN, yeah.
The peaceful transition of power is what has made this country a standout in the rest of the world, the envy of all the world, and to have that called into question is one of the most horrific things I've ever heard from certainly a presidential candidate in my entire life.
And I think what's been nice is at least to see the media on CNN saying just that at least, I mean, Jake Tapper, Wolf, everybody else saying it's unheard of. They've never seen anybody talk like Trump did tonight about suggesting that he wouldn't accept the results of the election.
It's people have accused Trump of fascist tendencies. Well, all you have to do is look at that quote, look at the answer that he gave to Chris's very direct question. And Chris gave him this perfect setup. And not only did he refuse to answer, but he, said, well, I'm going to keep you in suspense, as if this were one of his reality shows.
Right. I also want to really quick go to when Wallace asked Trump about the videos, about the grab your pussy video. Mm-hmm. And Trump, it was interesting.
Trump did one of these. Wrong.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the other thing. Trump
several of those.
Trump kept doing his SNL, his Saturday Night Live
I think he was
impression.
doing an impression of Alec Baldwin doing him.
That's what people were saying on Twitter. They said, oh, my God, Trump is doing Alec Baldwin.
Actually, you could almost not tell who was who.
Oh, wrong. I mean, it was
horrible. But, that's the thing. I mean, we're not talking about a leader here. We're talking about a somewhat failed business person.
Well, can I ask, wait, real quick, let me ask, because you kept telling me, because we're both live in New York now, but Alan's from New York City originally too. You kept saying, you don't get it, that's New York. Well,
a Bronx Cheer type of thing. It's very Archie Bunker-esque.
You were saying a bully, basically, a not very smart bully.
Well, he's a schoolyard bully. Bullies are not smart. Bullies are bullies because it's all facade. It's meant to scare, shock and awe and terrify people. But there's no substance to it, and we saw that tonight. I mean, it was a big blame game for Trump, and that's pretty much all. Mm-hmm. And then this whole idea that the thing that makes our country great, the transition of power, would be his great reveal on his reality show, which is basically all of us.
Right.
Is horrific.
Yeah. Then Chris Wallace was asking her about the tape and the women, and Trump at this point was already so pissed off that he tried to give his answer of, well, actually, no, he was so pissed off at this point that I remember he started by going, I think she did it. I think she got all those 9 women to do that. It was just like, oh my God.
And calling her a nasty woman.
Oh, that was great.
The misogyny.
Well, that was misogyny. Well, after. Yeah, but after that was towards the end. I mean, just so people know, it was after he had already claimed that, these women are lying. Hillary set him up. No one treats women better than me. And then a couple minutes later, while Hillary's giving an answer on something, he goes, she's a nasty woman. Yeah, and it was pure Alec Baldwin on Saturday Night Live doing Trump. It was everyone went nuts at that moment.
It was definitely misogynistic, but it was a personal attack on his opponent, one that you don't normally see in a presidential debate.
And that he even threw in the woman aspect too sounded a little bit at one point.
The way he said woman was so scornful.
It was sort of like a nasty woman, not just that she's nasty and she happens to be a woman. There was he was getting beaten up by a girl. I think that's what was going on, and Donald's not used to getting beaten up at all, let alone by girls.
He certainly was beaten up by a woman, a very talented woman at that. It was a routing.
Yeah, no, she destroyed him. Well, we were getting a little annoyed because we were watching CNN right after, and what's his name? John on CNN. I'm forgetting his name. The correspondent.
I know there's a lot of tweets going on.
Oh, you can't even. It goes by too quickly. On Periscope, you can't see a thing people are writing. You can, but it's so quickly. But on CNN, one of the reporters was saying that he kind of felt like it was a draw in the sense that it wasn't going to affect either candidates, how the people are going to vote for them. I don't think that's totally true. I think Trump didn't get what he needed because Trump needed to totally upset the apple cart. Trump needed a massive victory. He needed to destroy Hillary, and he didn't do it. Hillary just needed status quo because she was already 8 to 10 points ahead in the polls.
That's right.
But I also think she killed him.
Well, some of the commentators were saying that he needed to change minds tonight, and because there are those voters out there who are still undecided. And they were doubtful that any minds were changed. I disagree. I think, if anything, some of these undecideds are going to go for Hillary as a result of this
That's what
debate.
I think too. I think you look at him and you think this guy doesn't know the issues and he's categorically insane. And then you get on with the sexism, the misogyny, and everything else.
Right.
I think he was worse than the first.
Not wrong.
Not wrong. Yeah, what was it? Getting warmer? No, he was worse than the first debate, in my opinion. That I think you watched it and you said, "There's no way this guy can be president." You watched her, and wherever, A, you saw that she knew the issues inside out. B, I think she came across quite warm and nice and personable. That she doesn't always. I think her speeches lack sometimes.
She looked fantastic, and she did come across as very personable. She smiled.
But I mean, fantastic too. And that, right? It was. The whole package was somebody incredibly appealing, intelligent, temperamentally sound, stable,
and aware, and totally versed on the facts. I mean, she had facts of court cases and foreign policy that Donald obviously
he doesn't have. I think you looked at her and you said, whether you agree with her or not, clearly this woman, I would say this, and people get mad when I say this, sort of like looking at Dick Cheney, and I would say, I would never want Dick Cheney as president. Obviously, he could be president.
Well, he has the qualifications.
I think he has the qualifications. I think he has the temperament for it. But God, I would never want his policies as president or his mindset. But at least
to go on a hunting trip.
But at least he's got, or a hunting trip. But at least he's got the gravitas. She's got the gravitas. Trump doesn't. You wouldn't even know that Trump was successful at business, which whether he is or isn't, who knows? It was sort of like he was almost like she was debating Gary Johnson.
What's interesting is that he let the same old buttons be pushed again.
Oh,
and she successfully has done that.
She got him on Putin too. Right. Putin drove him nuts. Absolutely crazy.
Completely.
She goes basically, well, the problem is, that you're a puppet. If we elect you, we're going to elect a puppet of the Russian government. And he leans in and he goes, "You're a puppet." It didn't even make sense.
No, they were just outbursts. This was actually a commercial for Xanax XR, extended release, because clearly
the presidential pill.
One pill before.
When your candidacy just isn't going that well.
No, I mean, clearly he was under. I mean, his eyes were bloodshot when he walked out.
Well, they were bloodshot when he came out.
And then, after a couple of 1-2 punches by Hillary, he, I guess, woke out of his
eyes were black and blue
stupor, and he started to become incredibly incoherent and just like I said, just fell off the rails.
Yeah.
I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, that was fun.
Sad.
That was just incredibly fun. Yeah.
Fun, but nerve-wracking too. I mean, I don't know about you, but when you don't have two intelligent people on the stage, you only have one. There's something off balance, something off-putting about that, particularly when one of those people is simply not qualified to be the commander-in-chief. It's scary. It's scary that there are still people in this country that think this man is an appropriate choice to sit in the Oval Office.
And scary what he's going to do the day after the election on November 9th when he finds out he didn't win.
That's right.
And he refuses to step down and tries to cause hell. Well, and even more so, he's already hinted at violence. What if he decides to do that? What if he does what he had after the Obama? A lot of people may not know. I saw it mentioned on Twitter, and I went and found the tweets. After the 2012 election, he didn't think Obama should have won, and he literally called for a revolution and said people should storm Washington. He deleted some of the tweets, but somebody grabbed them, so we've got them still. I mean, he could easily enrage his people to do something crazy.
He's already set it up for that. I mean, he's set up the idea that people should form goon squads and go to polling places where people of color precincts that are
right,
heavily,
that was in the last week. Right.
and told people to go down there and intimidate people.
Right.
Literally told people to do that.
Right.
And that is so unbelievable. That and that's what fascists do particularly when they think they're behind and they can't win.
Right. Now, I don't know. Again, these are not easy to get the questions go. Well, the problem is things go flying by very quickly on Periscope. But if anybody has stuff to add, there really hasn't been violence against Trump supporters. There was the one thing that happened was it North Carolina this last weekend? We don't actually know who did it, but there was some violence against the Republican office in North Carolina. The Democrats immediately
there was more money than it cost to rebuild the place.
The Democrats reached out and actually raised at least $12,000. I saw the office cost
13.
Okay, 13. Then, yeah, and they thought maybe it was $10,000 in damages. Immediately repudiated it. And we still don't know who did it because there have been instances in the past where they were fake or somebody brought it. I remember the woman with John McCain, the young woman working for John McCain who carved a bee in her face and claimed to the police that some Obama supporters, a big black man, jumped her and did it. And we found out that she did it to herself for publicity. So we don't know.
There's so much video of people being assaulted at Trump rallies and so much video of Trump actually telling supporters to literally punch people in the face that don't that disagree with Trump's platform, if you want to call it that. You didn't see that at Bernie rallies. You didn't see that at Hillary rallies. This is a Trump phenomenon.
Right. Anyway, I mean, I think we'll sort of close with that. I think just to wrap up, Hillary destroyed Trump tonight, and I mean, I'm not just saying that as a partisan. I mean, I was a little worried. I was actually worried that it was going to be a tie, and the first half hour made me think it was going to be a tie. Trump was really, I thought, on his game in the first half hour, and that he was very calm, almost even presidential for Trump, which. I mean, grading him on a curve.
It's a huge curve.
He wasn't insane, but no, he was just very calm and talking like this for half an hour, and then she just pushed a couple of his little buttons, and he went
the same buttons she always pushes.
What was Putin? His business. I don't remember now what else, but the Putin thing really got him pissed. But he went insane, and for the rest of the hour, he was terrible. No, I think he's shot himself in the foot now. The press is going to be horrific this week, tomorrow, especially on him saying he might not recognize the results. His weird attacks on her, calling her a nasty woman. I think I think the Republican leadership is certainly looking at this going, oh my God.
Well, this may go down in history as one of the most bizarre debates presidential debates of all time.
And all because of one candidate, though, not because of the two of them.
Correct.
Yeah. Anyway, no, so I think in wrap-up, she did amazingly. We'll see over the next 3 weeks. I think he's going to probably get even nastier now because he's so pissed at her, and he... I don't know if he knows how badly he did, but he's going to see. He's going to see.
A narcissist does not think he did. The narcissist does not think he did badly on this.
But he's going to see how bad everybody says he does, and he's going to get pissed. He's going to be enraged. He's going to be. I mean, I said he's like the Tasmanian devil. It's going to be just this little ball of like a little, Furby or something. I mean, I was thinking of a tribble, like a rabid tribble.
There you go.
For the next 3, just kind of sit on the table going. Anyway, I'm just having too much fun because this was far more fun than I anticipated.
This guy was giggling, and I was nervous.
I was howling.
There were some funny moments, and there were some great tweets by Seth MacFarlane, Sarah
which I've got to see. I
Silverman,
missed that one.
My old friend John Weber, comedian, Todd Barry, amazing, funny commentary from them, and he deserved it.
Yeah.
That
was a whipping. All right, guys. Hope you watched it. Hope you enjoyed it. When will it end? Hopefully, it ends on November 8th. But if Trump has his way, maybe it won't. So, all right. Thanks, guys. John Irvosis with America Blog. Alan Klein, PR guy. Signing off. You follow me on Twitter at Aravosis, Aravosis.
And I'm AK Media.
AK Media. All right. Bye, guys.